Today we're going to load up. We're going to go work on one of those long driveways I tell you about in other videos. I believe this driveway is 1,165 feet from the top road to their garage or barn door. So, but I'm going to do a short video on it today. Yeah, we're starting on this driveway. It's 1,160 something feet, and it's pretty much, I don't know what the elevation change is, but it's a lot. But I just started on it. I figured I'd put the camera on, show you some of the stuff we have to deal with up here. It stayed together pretty good. We had torrential downpours yesterday, and this was on the schedule from like 2 weeks ago, which I'm glad it didn't have. I don't like doing this and then have it downpour the same day until it gets bound back up and drove over a few times. It would take right off, so that I don't think they're talking for any more showers, so I hope not. But this is just a little short video. I want to show you some of the driveways we deal with in Wakefield, Brookfield, Carroll County basically, so New Hampshire. This is a driveway I did last year. Guys lived here for 20 something years, but it's always been a mess. I actually feel it stayed together pretty good, considering this is the first time we're touching it even since winter. So this is the reground hot top, which is the first time he's ever used it, or I used it for him. But he's always had people put gravel on the road, but he even admitted this stayed here better than anything that's ever been put on before. But it was a big enough job, so there was a couple little diggers in the road. I told him I'd come regrade it. I brought 3 or 4 loads of reground on the 1-ton dump. But this is kind of like a courtesy thing, because it was a pretty big job here last year that we did. So I try to do right by people. I wouldn't say it's a complaint. He just asked me about it. It said I'd keep care of it. So. normally I'd tailgate this out. This job here, I dumped these piles here probably a week and a half ago. So a lot of times I'll just get material out different places, and when I haul the tractor around, I can get more done in one day and bring the tractor back home to the next job. But if I have time, that's what I normally do, is tailgate it out, so I don't have to go through all this. But I just want to explain that in the video. Everybody has a different way of doing it. This is kind of what works for me. You'll see in my videos where I push back sometimes with the blade. I do what it takes to, that gives me a good starting point to go forward. Pretty much put that blade down, it will track itself pretty well. But once in a while, I've had people question why I back up sometimes with the blade, but it really, as long as you're spreading it out, it's just the way I do it. But a lot of people may question when they see the video, but that's why. This gave me a good starting point where the blade will sit good, and then I'll go down the road. I just realized the camera was off when I did some of the grading, but pretty much you go up and down. You missed me going up and down the hill about 12 times, but I just want to go up one more time, show you what we deal with. I do landscaping, but there's a lot of road grading. Thought about buying a used grader because I do think there's a lot of work up here for it, but I found I like having a good size. This is a 60 horse farm tractor, MX6000. It drags anything you put behind it pretty well, power-wise, mows fields. I do some mowing with it, but I actually feel the guys like me that do it with this small equipment, this one here is just a quick touch-up. Again, a grader would come in here and just rip everything loose again. This held together very good over the winter. There's really no reason to rip it completely apart, and that's another thing. I think you can touch up roads. Like this one here is kind of a freebie because it was a decent job from last year. So I told him I'd keep care of it when he called me this spring. But most of the time, these roads don't need to get ripped apart. They just need to get touched up. You're better off something solid and flat over the winter and stays that way. You leave it alone. There's no sense of loosening it up again. Especially a lot of times too, if you're putting a lot of sand on the road in the winter, you dig into the road. Same thing, you're pulling the sand out of the ditch line. Sand's not really good to put in, especially when you're using reground hot top like this. I always find in the spring, you let the spring rains and melt off happen. The sand, most of that sand will run off the road into the ditch lines. You want to clean the ditch lines out. You'll see videos. I'm going to keep doing videos, but there's a lot of Class 6 camp roads. I'll actually take a leaf blower and blow out all the ditch lines before I even try to pull things back together. A lot of times it's so many leaves from the fall that you end up digging them out. Some of them are shaped, so it's just as easy to go down through with the tractor and just scoop it out. But I just wanted to show you that, talk a little bit about what we do. But I'll take one more pass so you can see pretty much this is a normal driveway right here. Pretty big elevation change too from the bottom of this to the top. A road like this, I feel this stayed together real well. Like I said, the customer said it stayed together probably better than it ever has, but I'm back here fixing it. I guess it is a complaint in a sense, but I'm fixing it for free, so he's happy about that. But I'm actually very impressed with the way this stayed together, considering I did it late in the season too. If the sun would have got to this reground, it would have bound up a little bit better. But overall, the few little diggers that were in it, I'm pretty impressed with how this stuff works. I really think this is what most camp roads should be getting done with. I don't agree with putting it too close to the waterfront because there are still oils and stuff in it, and the granules pick up, and you don't want them going down to the lake. So I try to stay away from the lakes with it. But normal camp roads that get out to towards the lake or hills, this is probably the best product to use. Show you this. This is basically across the street from where I just worked on that driveway, to show you the elevation change here.